Hello, it is Lord Haywire. I am streaming some 2D 4X, which is an open source 2D 4X video game that I am creating. I'm also learning how to program C# in the process, and it's quite an experience. And we are working today on it's like a post-apocalyptic game. I always say have this whole spiel that I don't want to do every time, but I guess I'm supposed to, because then if it's a new viewer, like, do they know what I'm talking about? Anyways, I'm doing a little test here now. I have to do a test to make sure I can see chat on YouTube, and I can't. I put it in there and I can't see it. So let me click some buttons again. Let me do this hello again. Hello again. And let's see if this works now. There we go. So last weekend, because I work on this on the weekends, we got through the population and we'll now pick. So this is a post-apocalyptic game. You can build buildings. It's inspired by like Victoria 3. It's actually becoming more similar to Victoria than it was originally planned to be. But Dominions, Shadow Empire, all sorts of games like that. Any 2D 4X game is an inspiration. Last time we got the population to work and pick jobs, and there's like just a ton of things in this list here that we need to go through and fix or get rid of because they're already done. And then I have some other things, and then I was talking to ChatGPT earlier, because I've hated that the word that I've been using, the word is scrap, is one of the resources. And I was like, there's got to be another word for that that's better. And I think, remnants is because it's remnants of the old world, because it's post-apocalyptic. So it's remnants. So I think I'm going to use the word remnants. The only problem I don't like about that is that game, remnant something. But and then I was looking at this thing. I did Visual Studio had an update, and I no longer can right click on this and suppress a warning. And I don't know, I've Googled it and I haven't been able to find anything. Anyways, I was looking at this research test because it has this thing on here and it wants me to mark it as static. I actually could probably mark this one as static. And I was like, what the fuck is this? What is this thing? I think this is just so that I can put out some research. It's a test for research. This is a terrible name for a method. But let's mark this as, so we're going to clean up and do stuff. And today is just going to be like we'll see if I can run this now. Today is just going to be like cleaning up. We might get to making things. But I noticed the first thing on the list there that I have is, so that each province has an amount of food and scrap that is scavengeable from that, and scrap is the word I was talking about, remnants. It's remnants of the old world that you can turn into things, and part of the game, one of the game mechanics is that you're going to run out of these remnants. I think remnants works better, of the old world, and you're going to have to start creating your own shit. So maybe we'll change this to remnants as we go. I also have like a few other things that I feel like I just need to get through and change. It's going to be a very just cleany uppy stream. So let's go down this list. I already forgot what I said I was working on here. We wanted to, one of the things that I want to do is put this as scavengeable above this, because a lot of times when you click on this, you think that this is how much food is here and how much scrap is here. So let's fix this title so that it says scavengeable food, scavengeable. So we're just going to add a title to that, basically. And I've been trying to figure out when to use, I can never remember what it's called. I even repeated it to myself 3 times earlier so I can remember, but I already forgot. Dependency injection. I've been trying to figure out when you'd use that. I've been starting working on it with another game, like as a test for it. And I don't know why or when you use it. I gotta understand what the benefits of it are more than other times. But we're gonna try to use like with interfaces, because those seem even less useful to me. And I know that like they're a big deal, and it's just something I don't understand. I'm not pretending like, oh, I know better. I do not. Um, but on our so first though, let's do this. And you know, it's funny because there's so much code in this that basically needs to be rewritten. So we're gonna also try to. I noticed that this thing isn't right, but I guess it doesn't matter. We're gonna try to fix things as we go because this is a lot of this code is I've learned a lot more since the last when I first started this, and I originally started in Unity, so there's stuff that's come over from Unity to Godot, and so here we are. So this is these food wherever they're county food county. So probably right above this where it says county name, we should put another thing here that says like scavengeable resources. And maybe we can throw it like underline it or some shit. I don't think you can do an underline easily if I remember correctly. I haven't done an underline in a long time. I don't think it's hey Lord Mac, how's it going? I don't think it's a thing. We might just have to deal with it for now because it doesn't really matter. But I think that this is gonna be better. An underline really would make life easier or better, not easier. This one's intense. No, that's where we're cleaning shit up today. Today's a cleanup day. There's still like a million things to do before we get to diplomacy. Uh, info card for factions. No, this is still the county thing. Um, there's definitely going to have to be a faction thing, I feel like, at some point. We're just not there yet. We're still doing like going through the research. Yeah, I don't think there's a easy way to do underlining without like fucking with stuff. We could ask or Google it. I mean, underline label. How do I underline text? How old is this? This is not that old. Perhaps I could use an. What is his question? I mean, oh, we should probably start like really getting into localization while we do this too, because it's. Man. It is quite a chore to do the localization. It is incredibly. It is so much work. And I think maybe we'll do that too while we go along. So I'm thinking, Lord Mac, I'm thinking about changing the word from scrap to remnants. Remnants. Underlining text on mouse hover. Remnants. It doesn't really matter. You know what? Who gives a shit about this right now? Whoops. No, it's there, except it's underneath on this one. That's funny. So it should be here. I wonder if we should put this in a box. You know what we could do, actually? Esoteric isn't necessarily bad though. This actually isn't a name. This is a title. Scavenge. Well, the problem with refuge is that it can be shit. Yeah, exactly. It can be trash. Scavengeable resources. Label. This is a title though. I don't know. Title. And you know what we should do is put this in a box. Maybe all of it in a box. Yeah. Let's do that. Then we'll be able to tell. Like I said, there's gonna be a lot of cleanup here. We'll put this up here, this in here, this in here. Oh yeah, that looks beautiful. That's exactly what we want. Just everything in a big pile. The problem is we got to put another H box. You can never have enough H boxes here. This H box goes up here. At this point, I rarely label the H boxes. Nope, sorry, it's a V box. Let's change this thing to a V box. Where are you? Change type. And then we are gonna rename this. And yeah, I'm kind of giving up because I have so many H. Yeah, that looks much better. There we go. So now we don't have to, even though it's very dark. Who cares? We should probably make this all white, or all black, I mean. Yeah, you know, it's funny. I was talking to ChatGPT earlier, before I started streaming. Debris, residue, scraps, leftovers. They suggested salvage or scavenge, but then there's like your scavenging and scavenge, recovery, reclaim. And the only one I've been thinking about the detritus. uh, well, we're definitely gonna make this prettier. Oh, wait, we got a problem here at some point. Is this not lined up? Let's restart this here. Well, we gotta close this though. I just want to make sure that people don't think, well, yeah, that's good enough for now. I don't know why all the text is different colors. I wonder how much work it would be to make it all black. Black is better, I think. I just want to have a standard here. It probably wouldn't be that hard. So what did I do? Where did I mark this? Displayed text. It's under theme. Didn't I already do? Yeah, we could turn it white too. What does that look like? Okay, that didn't work. What am I on? Scavengeable resources. Yeah, we're gonna have to make this very pretty at some point. But it's so far off, and damn it, white looks better. Well, no, it's better that white looks better because it's easier for me to fix. There we go. Man, my eyesight is getting really terrible. I really need to go to the doctor and I even started paying for insurance. Yeah, that looks better. Yeah, that looks all right. Who gives a shit? That's close enough for what we're doing here. That's all I wanted for this one. Where was it? Here we go. We can close this. We're gonna close like a bazillion things here. Show preferred work in the population description panel. All right. So what the problem that we're having with this is that as these people get assigned to work, their preferred job, you're like, why is this person doing this? And you have no way to tell why they're doing that. So what we're doing here is we're going to need in here, we need to assign their preferred work somewhere so that at least you can check and see why the person is working at a specific place. And one of the other things that we got to do, I don't know if we'll get there today, but is make them stop working. Currently, they just get a job and they're going to work that job for the rest of eternity. And we need to have a thing that basically says, look, there's enough stuff. And then I also want to do something called job loyalty that I'm going to put in probably later, where like if they're not at the beginning, you don't get paid, but where your job loyalty goes up the longer you work there, but then goes down for various other things, like there's too much of the stuff already. But let's go to this description panel and let's turn this on. Let's put this where we got their skills here. We got their current. Let's put it right underneath here. Yeah, so that's the thing is me and my boss talk about this occasionally, that there's probably better jobs out at the job market, you know, in the job market for our positions where we would get paid more. But the fact that you have to apply, go through the whole process of applying, and then you gotta maybe get a shittier job that starts out, you know, you're like, oh, this is pretty good, but in reality it sucks. Is all like it's a gamble, you know, getting a new job. So we're actually need 2 of these. We're gonna need, this one's gonna be called, man, I really feel like I should, it's gonna be so brutal, but maybe we should start the brutality right now. All right, let's do it. Let's start the brutality. Project settings. Let's push this code. I've had some strange things happen. I didn't actually do anything to that clock script. Let's push this stuff to, let's do a new branch. And we're going to call it localization start. And we're going to go here. Oh, I didn't push this shit though. I guess, oh, we're not merging to main, so it's fine. Whoops, I didn't commit that stuff. Merged branches. Well, good, close enough. Yeah, so one of the things, you know, I've been playing a bunch of Victoria 3. I don't know why I'm playing it. I fucking hate it. It's so frustrating. And one of the problems I think with Victoria is that people change jobs too quickly. Or not work at all. They all just like flood to a different job, or they just stop working. And I think it's very, very common in real life, at least in the United States, for people to work shitty jobs for way longer than they should be getting other jobs. Underpaid, underappreciated. So yeah, I want to have like a loyalty where it checks. And then if like and then I somehow want to adjust it so like if you have a shitty manager, your loyalty would go down. But that's very, very far off. But I was thinking just like a number that went up, but then could be adjusted. But okay, what are we doing here? We're gonna do localization. We're just gonna start it. I pushed it. We're gonna go to our editor. We're gonna go to here. We're gonna go to localization. I think I did one of these. We're gonna delete this. We're gonna add. Sorry, we are not. Yes, we are gonna add. And we're going to go to our scenes. And we're gonna go main. And we're gonna open. Then we're gonna generate the. Well, I guess wait. We're gonna generate. I haven't done it. Oh no, I was right. Okay. Main. I haven't done this step in a while. You want to save this file. We already have one here. We can just delete this one. And so I kind of want it to be that, not like with friends with each other, but with the manager. But it is definitely going to be complicated and it's a lower priority. But I do want to have like some, I don't know. Okay, so we have this POTS thing. The reason why we generated that first is for this nightmare that we're going to have to experience. We're not going to actually use that POTS thing. We are going to open it though. And this is all of the text that's in main currently. So we have like a start on, you know, I haven't even looked at numbers in localization. I don't think numbers should matter. But this gives us a start of what we need to translate. This is a nice one. But let's start with this. So now we have this like as a guide. But what we're actually going to do here I shook my mouse around. Um, boiled crabs. The way crabs are, yeah, well, most animals, it's pretty brutal. I mean, what's the chicken factories? I actually I'm like pro vegan people, but I am too lazy myself. So we're gonna need to go over to here, and we're going to go a new, and this is gonna be part of this murder here. I need a new, let's just start it with Excel here. Get ripped in half alive. Why do they rip them in half? We're gonna save this, and we're gonna put this. You need this CSV UTF-8 for things to work right. We're gonna call this main text, and we're gonna browse to someplace. Which one of these is right? Both of those are wrong. Okay. Localization. I wonder if a space will be a problem here. Oh, definitely boiled alive. Isn't that whole, is that crabs or? No, what's the thing with boiling and oh, that's the frog. That's the frog thing. Okay, so now we have this CSV called main text, and in reality, we should be getting some errors here if I save this. We did not get any errors. Soon, oh, right, we gotta do some more steps here. We're gonna, I want to get rid of that, but maybe not. We're gonna add localization. Okay, it hasn't. I think we need to restart our project. Oh, you know what the problem is? Um, we need en, and I'm going to use Spanish. I don't know any Spanish. I know like 3 words of Spanish, but and then we'll put in, what was the thing? I was just gonna, we need one thing to be translated so we can, what was the thing I was gonna put in? Something over here. Preferred work. So this is another thing that I always, preferred work, preferred work. Get in here. Preferred work. Yes, we want capitals. I think I'm going to put title in front of this because this is a title that we're doing. And then, yeah, you know, there's that thing with lobsters where you can go to translate over here. And I couldn't figure out how to get this to like auto-fill the next cell, but I also didn't try that hard. So what I was doing was pasting it in Notepad. Because if you paste it straight from here, there's some weird symbol that's invisible. Okay, so now we have that. Yeah, so people were saying that like you could like hear lobsters scream when you cook them, but it's actually the air escaping from their exoskeleton, which is also kind of disturbing in its own way. But yeah, I feel like once the environment collapses, we're gonna all be vegan at some point. I'll probably be dead then though, so I don't have to worry about it, right? Then what we're gonna do here is we're gonna go preferred work, and then we're gonna rename this. This is a title. Human, yeah. You know, I always joke that we're going to be eating dogs, um, because it just seems like there's a lot of dogs to be eaten. Um, See, so the next step of this, the thing that's going to be in preferred work though, is not going to be like one word. There's going to be a variety of different words. So let's look at our enum, and we'll put a thing in for each one. So what are our work here? Okay, I don't have a work thing. Swear to fuck I do though. Attributes, perks, provinces, research skills. Oh, you know what? No. Um, how was I? How was I? Oh, we're using it's the skill as their preferred work. Okay, so that's easy. What we'll do is we will put a thing in here. You shouldn't be talking about cannibalism. So I'm just gonna type in a thing that says, you know, like skill construction here, and then, but I'm moving this to my other screen so I can look at the ones we have. Skill. You know what? Before we do that, we'll just save this. We want to make sure this is cannibalism. I think cannibalism is fine to talk about. I looked at the list, um, because I was looking at some stream, not, you know, a stream, but the page of streams on Twitch. The fuck was it? Anyways, there's a bunch of people who had like the grayed out screen, and I was like, because it said they had sexual content or whatever. And I was like, so I looked at some of them because I was curious what it was. I wasn't like trolling for looking at naked chicks, but um, we got to get this thing to work here. I think we got to restart this. Is this saved? Um, and none of them had any sexual content. And I was, oh, is there an auto mod thing? Um, People would rather attack. Yeah, I mean, I kind of feel the same way. Like, I rather kill a human than a dog, uh, because humans generally suck. We gotta restart this now, and I think this should as long as so there's a sometimes Excel makes it a little strange with the localization. um, but anyways, so I was looking at these, and none of them had any sexual content. So then I was curious why they were putting that up there when they. So I started looking through the list of what causes that, and it was surprisingly a short list of specific words. You know, they had some just generalizations and things, but and I didn't see cannibalism in there. I think that's an okay topic. So what were we looking for? Where did I put that shit? It was over here. So I might have, oh, you know, there's one more step. There's always one more step here. Did we get our translations? I don't think I can't remember how to do this. It should be, let me look at my other game. I started this with Hex Demon. Hey, Bumblebite. Boiling crabs. Let's see here. How did I do this shit before? This says there's no translations in Hex Demon. Maybe I took them out. All right, let's try that. Let's look at this other thing that I know there is because I've done crazy amounts on this thing. Crazy amounts of translations. Project settings, localization. Yeah, it has to figure out. I bet you it's because this POTS thing is here. Let's copy this POTS thing out of here. It probably thinks that that we're using this pots thing. But I wonder if it still leaves it there. I think it does. Oh, you know, the other problem is this thing has to be closed. Um, Man, I bought a bunch of potatoes. I always say this, I love potatoes, and I was like, but I never buy them because they always go bad. And then I bought a bunch of potatoes, and they're just sitting on my floor in the kitchen. Let's try this one more time here. I'm not. We were talking about like the pain in the ass it is to actually get a new job, even if you think that you probably should. So one of my regrets of life is that I worked at Kinko's, which is um, uh, like FedEx office, you know, a copy machine place, not coffee, copy machine where you make copies. Uh, I need this thing to, there it is. There we go. There we go. We got our translations showing up now, and then we'll hit play and wait for the issues. So I worked there for 10 years, 5 years in San Diego, and then when I moved to Portland, I couldn't get any other jobs, and I worked construction for a couple of years. It sucked. And then I was like, fuck it, I'll go apply at Kinko's again, and I got a job at Kinko's. So there's some problem here. And, you know, that job, yeah, exactly. 10 years of, it's like one of my biggest regrets of life. Okay, so the problem is, added title. I added title, preferred work, and I didn't add it over here. We just got to get the first one to work, then we can go from there. So, one of the reasons that I didn't try to get a new job was that it seemed like a lot of work and possible failure to get a new job. And then what happens if I got a new shittier job? All right, so now this is automatically translating this to preferred work. So that's what we want, except we do have a bug here. What is this bug? Handle is not initialized. Actually, I haven't seen this. It could be because this is open. It really doesn't like them when you have Excel open when you're running things, when you're doing translations. But in reality, every single person I know who worked at Kinko's and then quit, got fired or whatever, almost immediately moved to a better job. Like they might have went from Kinko's and, you know, they were getting paid $12 an hour and then got a job where they were getting paid $10 an hour, but within a year they were at like 15 and the people at Kinko's were at like 12.50. Yeah. Fax machines, or copy machines. Yes, I still to this day am like, yeah, I think it didn't like that I had that Excel thing open. It really hates it when you have Excel open. So back to what we were doing though. Now that we know this is working, and you know what's funny is I remember asking my parents for help with my resume, just to look over the resume and make sure that it looked good. And my mom was like, you barely work at any place for very long. Because normally, I'm jumping jobs all the time. We don't need this open. This is the wrong thing. If you see a better job, but I was like demoralized or something. I don't know. We need this list up. Then we're just going to type this shit in here. Skill, cool. Skill, farm. Skill, fish. My thing's above my thing's on top of chat there. And it was kind of interesting that when my mom said that, because I thought about like how long she had worked at her job. It was like 20 years at the time. How long she worked at her job, and it's crazy that that's used to be a thing, and you're rewarded with it. I guess I've worked at my current job for 10 years, but It's also the best job I've ever had. But once again, I could probably get paid more if I went somewhere else, but okay, here we go. So then we're just gonna open this thing up. And this is probably throwing bugs. Oh, I guess it's not. It will soon enough. Construction. Cool. Oh, what are you doing there, buddy? Are you gonna do, what do they call that? Oh, I saw it for a second. Do it. Yeah, do all that. There's a name for that. I can't remember what it is in Excel. Then we're gonna translate this. Wherever the translate button is. And then copy, bring over my thing, paste, copy. Perfect. Now we have all our skills translated here, and then we have other problems, which is we got to go to our skills, and we got to change the name. See, this is why I said it's a fuck ton of work. Construction. We don't have any descriptions in here. But we might as well start working on it now, and then just because I said this is going to be a cleanup thing. Skill. Oh yeah, I was Bumblebee. I was looking at that picture. What did I do? That picture you posted on Discord, and of the train, and I was, what are all the little triangles? Is that how you're getting the voxels? Age of Empires 3 Spanish Mail. What was their deal? I don't think I played Age of Empires 3. I may have. I played one of those or two of those. I liked it at the time. I guess this isn't that bad. As long as I don't spell things wrong. All right, so the key here, the reason we had to do all that, we're gonna go preferred work, label, and then we're just gonna say whatevs in here, like literally. Oh yeah. Yeah, it totally does get stuck in your head. There was something I heard something. No, it was like someone mentioned something in Reddit, like one of those call outs or whatever they're called, and I could hear the call out in my brain from playing the game. Using diamonds so that you can have more like shape. Isn't that what they do with I think early VR, that's what they tried to do with like because they wanted, try to, what's that lawnmower man? Um, okay, so what we want to do on this label, though, we're gonna have to add this label to this thing, this massive, massive thing. Is did you guys ever see that terrible movie Lawnmower Man? We need to have a preferred work label that is going to go right above this. And then we're gonna build this thing. It didn't have Nick Cave in it, or Nick Cage in it. It had I can't remember the guy's name. It was based on a Stephen King book, but or a Stephen King story. But like whoever had the rights to it decided to make a completely different movie that had nothing to do with Stephen King's thing, and it was about virtual reality. Um, I mean, somewhat about virtual reality. It's pretty insane. Preferred work label. That's pretty terrible too. All right, so now we have that. And how am I doing this other shit? So I think, so this is back to the drill instructor. Dependency injection. So I think what I'm supposed to be doing, and this is what I started to do in my other game, is basically have a public class that does this stuff. Like you would call the public, you would do a new whatever, and then you would use the public class to check for titles, and you would do this. But I don't quite, and I don't even know if that's dependency injection because I'm not using, because I'm doing it in my other game that I just started. I'm not using interfaces, and I'm just calling them, and it makes somewhat sense because then it's decoupled and you just have one place where you're doing that. But the thing is that like this is only ever used, see, like on visibility, this just does this stuff. So this could make sense. So this would make sense if like this is one of these things. I don't know what it's called. So instead of calling this directly, we would have a new thing that handles like hiding and showing these particular containers. And then we would have this, instead of it directly connecting to it, it would have a new thing that would hide and there would just be one. And that way we could, in that thing, we could also update it and change, like we could put error codes or something. I don't think I ever played Transport Tycoon. I played a ton of Roller Coaster Tycoon. And I probably said this before. Roller Coaster Tycoon is usually the first game I show someone if they've never played a video game. I say, let's load up this game from 1995 or wherever it was. Because it seems to be, well, it depends on the person, but it seems to be one where people can like understand, have fun, and then also go on a murdering spree if they want to. So I think that's what I'm supposed to be doing with these things. And then like all of these like hiding and showing of things, this would be decoupled from it because I'm directly hiding these things, and I don't think I'm supposed to be. Because let's say I wanted to do an error check here, I would have to write a GD script right here. But instead I could put in, let's say I wanted to do an error check every time this was hidden. If I was doing it the other way, I could put an error check in that code and it would do it every time it was hidden. I think that's what I'm supposed to be doing. But I don't know. I was literally actually seriously thinking about taking a class, a C# class, because there's all these higher level stuff I have so many questions about, and I can't I can't force chat to tell me how to do this, chat. Okay. All right, what was I doing right now though? I got sidetracked. Oh, we're setting up so this is updating the skills. This is like, so these things only interact with this panel, and they're only called when it's on visibility change. Update description info has all of this stuff in it. Update perks. Update preferred work. So after I just said all of that stuff, I'm not going to do it that way. So we're going to do preferred. I saw it. No, I didn't. Preferred work. Oh, I didn't call it label. Label dot text equals. That's, I saw, once again, back to Victoria and all that. I saw someone saying they wanted to mod Victoria 3, but it takes them so long to draw the map. And I totally agree. So my game has a similar thing where you have to, the idea is taken from those other games. You have to like draw the map. Like it's not an automated process. And it takes fucking forever. So I empathize with this guy complaining about that. It must take forever when there's like a whole 3D shit. So this is going to be county population, preferred work, name, and then toString. The name should already be a string. And then we're going to go back over here. And, I used to draw like D&D maps with, what the fuck is the name in that Dungeon Draft? And that shit took forever. In fact, drawing those, I was like, I might as well just make a video game. It takes so long to draw a map. And my players didn't care either. Whatevs. So, oh, we got to link this. No, I did, I thought. Nope, I did not. Because I renamed it. Yeah, so it was like, why take all this? It took, I spent on one map where I thought it was just mediocre and it needed a ton more work. I spent 40 hours on it. Okay, skill, labor, we're getting there, but this didn't translate because I don't think I closed this Excel thing. You gotta close it every time you... It usually gives me an error, and then it says, like, hey, hey, you need to close this fucking thing. Auto-generated by code. That's the way, right? That's the... Okay, so there we go. We have research as this person's preferred work. Let's just click on a couple of people. What the fuck did I just click through? Did I just click through the goddamn... I did. I clicked through this goddamn thing. You son of a bitch. Drawing the maps, yeah, they were only like mediocre too. It wasn't like I put all the time I wanted to into them, because I'd also be on a race. I'd be like, oh my god, my player's gonna get to this map, I gotta get done with it. And then the fact that my players didn't care made it, I just went back to drawing. Like in real life, I would just draw on a piece of paper in the good old days, like, like just line drawings, like this is a wall, this blue pin line is a wall. So I put this thing in here wherever it went. Where's all of our H boxes? This one right here. Make sure. No, it is not that one. It is not that one. It's this. We need to... This. I guess I will name this Scavenge Bowl Resources. We need to block the mouse clicky. I think that's all we need. Oh, except stop might make it that you can't click on this, but actually we don't want to be able to click on that, so it's fine. Yeah, I wish that you son of a bitch. I wish that Is this doing it for all of them now? Um, I wish my friends and stuff had time to play, and myself had time to play in person. Um, so it's just this thing where we're clicking through. I'm pretty sure this is what I'm. Yeah, I think it's just this thing. What was the key? I guess we can look at this population thing. What do we got your mouse set to? What are you bugging about? Pass. Pass, huh? That doesn't make any sense. What is this thing's problem? If visible. Oh, did I leave this open when I ran it? I did. Yeah, it takes a long time. And then the issue is that with like Dungeon Draft, they want your map to be really small. And as you make it bigger, the map gets slower and slower and slower. So as like let's say you want to put a forest in there, you're gonna put down 400 fucking trees, and Dungeon Draft starts to grind, and then you fucking import it into Foundry, and Foundry fucking grinds because it can't handle 400 trees. Look at this weirdness. Oh, is that just the edge of the? I think that's the edge of the. Yeah, that's the edge of the thing. Why the fuck is this thing passing now? Oh, wait. It's been a while since I've had to deal with this, so I can't remember all the tricks. What about this thing? What are you on? You're on pass. You're on pass. You're on ignore. What? Are you also on ignore? Yeah. You know, there was, what is in this little script? Yeah, it's Josh. uh, I generally don't ask people what their names are and their real names are in chat because you know, a lot of people don't want their real names out there in the world. So what do I have this thing on? This is on ignore. What did I put this? Maybe it's the panel containers on. Scavengeable. Oh, I have a typo in resources down there. It's always this clicking through thing. I thought this whole thing had a little code in it here that said, yeah, on mouse enter. What the fuck, man? Oh, you know, part of the problem is, what is this? Let's just get rid of this. This isn't gonna work. So this should probably be a little thing. You know, I asked my mom why, because there's like a bazillion Joshes. Like a bazillion Joshes. My full name's Josh Cook, and so like Josh Cook is there's a fucking bazillion of them. And I asked my mom, I was like, "Why'd you pick Josh? Like it's so common." And she was like, "At the time, no one, I had never heard of anyone named Josh." I was like, "Oh, great." Just everyone had that same thought at the same time. Um, I'm making sure that these other ones are not. Yeah, so it's just this one. Whatever is different about this is very strange. But I vaguely remember having to do this with a bunch of different things. So let's. It's this scavengeable thing. So this other one, the idle workers. Let's just make this all work. This is pass. This says stop. Why would it not? Why would stop not be the correct thing? Um, just Josh. People don't usually call me Joshua unless it's like they're mad at me or something. My mom's mad at me. Joshua. Huh. Okay, so pass is the key thing. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. Oh, was this awake again? Or no? What is your problem? Um, I wasn't paying attention. So I had a dude. So I always. So I have this thing. I say it's a thing that I have encountered in life. I've never met a white South African who wasn't a piece of shit, which is like the strangest thing. Uh, which I know is a weird. And you're like, what? So I've never met a white person from South Africa who wasn't a piece of shit. And you're like, that's a huge generalization. It's a terrible thing to say. Um, and so I worked with this guy at my current job, and for the first year, I was like, I'm wrong about that. This guy's really nice, and he's really like really cool. And he's probably like 10 years older than me, so he's like 60. And I was like, that throws out that whole thing that I tell myself. It makes that, and I'm just being, um, yeah, killed or dead would be weird. So that throws out my whole thing. And then uh, one day he asked me to stay late to help him, and I said no because he would always wait till I was about to walk out the door, and he would come running over and be like, "Can you help me do this?" And I was like, "No, I'm off work, man." and I'd said yes up to that point, and I got tired of it. Like he would always be like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, man. I forgot to come over here and ask for help until you're leaving." And so I said no one day. I was like, "Nah, man, I got stuff I got to do. I can help you tomorrow morning, though. Sorry." And that changed his whole thing, um, his whole attitude towards me, and he became a complete piece of shit. And he started calling me Joshua because he knew that I only go by Josh. And he'd be like, "Joshua, could you come help me?" And I just fuck that guy. Like, anyway, he confirmed my weird thing. Oh, we gotta fix this. um, this is all fixed though. Yeah, and I go by Lord Haywire on my other channel, and it's funny. One of my friends from high school uh, said, "Haven't you been going by Lord Haywire since you were like in high school?" And I was like, "Yes." So, anyways, back to the South African thing. Yes, and so occasionally people call me Joshua, but it's generally either my mom or someone being an asshole. Um, yeah, just total piece of shit after I said no to him once. Okay, so this is working. I did see those we need to fix those skills. So the skill labels were we're not going to work we're not going to change we're not going to go through the localization fix it all right now. Just as we see things and add new things, we're just going to make that a priority instead of just so all of these skill labels, wherever they are, um, population description control, they are on the right side. Skill grid. So what did that look like? Because that looked wrong. I read about how like in the good old days when there was people with the same name, they would just um they would just give them like another first letter, like Bill and Will and all that. Um, okay, so where are we getting this number here? I think this. Oh, we got that bug again. Handle is not initialized. I wonder if this has to do with the translations, because I don't think I know this. Um, I've seen this error. Let's look at this one, and then I'm gonna take a break. I woke up at 6:30 today for no reason. I usually wake up at 7:10 every morning. Oh, this is very old. Very old. Um, when did this start? Like, when did it appear? Was it right when I first ran it? I bet you it has something to do with the translation thing. I also have this POTS thing open, but I think I deleted that off. Well, now it's not here. All right, well, I'm going to take a quick break. Isn't that? I think that's weird too. The like having a junior of yourself and then expecting them to like take over your dynasty. I mean, it'd be so. I've thought about that. Like, if I don't want kids, but if I had a kid, it would be nice to have them inherit the things that I've collected. But the thing is, you don't know if your kid's gonna be a piece of shit. Um, it's pretty common in the U.S. Is it not common over where you guys are to have to name your kids junior? I work with one junior. Uh, all right, I'm gonna take a quick break though. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Let me start my music. I was reading chat at the same time as sitting down. Um, I had a question for you guys. Frozen yogurt or ice cream as well, Chad? I'm curious what people think because I had a friend recently tell me that they find frozen yogurt far superior. Um, so I got an email yesterday for the wrong Josh. That's pretty common. Um, so that bug didn't happen this time. So I don't know what is happening there. But we got to fix these things. The problem is it looks like we're filling this with code. We're filling it with code, probably in here somewhere. Update skills, probably. And I don't think we need this county population in here. I'm going to get rid of it. And well, like I said, this is going to be a fixing thing. It should just pull it from... Yeah, so what we're doing... And the problem is, so this happened in my other game. Sherbet. I used to love sherbet when I was a kid. I should try some sherbet because it's. So this is the problem with the translations thing that I've found is that so it's trying to translate this whole thing, but it can't because there's a number. So you have to tell it to translate this first on its own. And hopefully this will do the trick. In the heat, oh yeah, I could see that. My grandma, she died at like 50 or something. When I was a kid, we would go over to her house, and all she would have is sweets, which as a kid is pretty amazing for the first 6 hours. There we go. That fixed that. And that fixed that. I'm glad I ran into that issue in my other game because that would have driven me insane. It took me like 2 hours to figure. I found some really old Godot comments about like, oh, you gotta do it if it's in a line of code where there's other stuff. You gotta put the translate thing in there. And I'm still not getting that bug, so I don't know where that came from. But anyway, so her refrigerator was just sweets, and it was mostly chocolate stuff. But there's those chocolate. It has like a marshmallow inside, like a chocolate. It's like domed. I don't know what they're called, but that was like half of her fridge. So we would go there and we'd gorge on chocolate. But after like 6 hours, you wanted some real food, and that's all she ate. And so like the sherbet thing, she had sherbet, she had everything. But I can empathize with her until recently, where I'm like, that's all I want to eat is chocolate. But yeah, she died young because that's all she ate. All right, so we fixed this thing. What were we trying to do here? I think I fixed it. Yeah, we show the preferred work now. We can close this thing and close this dumb issue. If no preference in idle, then they build. Okay, we already did this, so we can close this. Yeah, we already did all this stuff. This has already been done. Go away. AI people need to decide which county improvement they want to work on. We already did that. Pig's feet. I've never had pig's feet. What if there are no skilled workers? All right, we already dealt with that. It fills it in. The AI population needs to be able to scavenge and not work. All right, we already did this. See, we're getting rid of all this crap that's like we already dealt with. If they're willing to work and there's no work available, they should scavenge. We already did that. Scavenge is the last thing that they do. Population needs to use resources such as food. We haven't done that. Check if any available work. We already did this a long time ago. That was like the first thing we did on the work thing. AI population needs to decide if they want to build a county improvement. We already did that. Check storage to see how many available. Okay, so this is one of the things that we want to do where they stop working, because we don't have any stopping of work. And I think I'm going to put job loyalty down here for now on the next round, because I don't want to be doing this forever. So these are kind of the same thing, but let's go over to this thing. Test if it's research. Oh yeah. So we got to make sure we never tested this last time. Um, yeah, I've never, like even like gizzards and chickens, like that grosses me out. My stepdad loves the gizzards. It seems so gross. We never tested to see if we have someone in researching, if they get co-opted into. All right, so we have researching here into working the next day, and we got to make sure. Um, we might actually. Everyone's scavenging? Oh no, that's right. Except for this guy. This unhelpful Amy Ramirez, you son of a bitch. Um, hmm. The goal is it's a map painting game, like Victoria 3. It's getting more similar to Victoria 3 every time I work on it. So like Conquest. So this person can research, but there are going to be, at the beginning, it's post-apocalyptic, so there isn't any money at the beginning. Oh, this is working. I thought this was broken earlier. Yep. Tons of territory taking. We can do that now, but it's pretty minimalist. Didn't I have one of these? Yeah. We need like a data pass. I can't believe this idle workers thing works. Okay, so this is part of the problem too. Yeah, North America. It takes place in North America. I'm taking a screenshot of this because I need to fix this. No, it's going to take place now. So we need to fix this. This is one of the things on the list, is how this is all fucked up. Yeah, I mean, it's going to take place now as much as like cell phones will be useless because of cell towers and stuff. Now, there was another game that I was thinking about doing. Well, I worked on for a long time where you start a cult, and in Unity, that was like my first, or it was like my second run, and I decided I didn't want to. It was too, and that was going to take place in like the 80s, because it was more interesting with like whatever. For cultism, I felt like the 80s was a better time than the boring cultism now. It's no fun. So I think, no, it did take over the research. Ruth Turner, it did fuck up the. Oh, there's a different issue here. Okay, what happened? I think what happened was, that is a bug though. So Ruth should be, and I bet you in the morning, because her current, oh, there's that bug. Does that happen the first time I click on something? Or is it after? What did I do? It's supposed to be, there. It's definitely pandemic related, but not our recent pandemic. It just happens to be. That just happened to happen. There's a TV series in the UK called Survivors that's part of the inspiration. So what did I click here to make that happen? Or is it when I stop the game I get that error? No? That's from the 70s. So there's this, and I love the TV show. You should look at, if you can find it. You might have to pirate it. So what did I do to get that bug to appear? The thing down here. Jericho. That is another good TV show that kind of went down. I think it had the writer's strike issue, but so basically in the TV show Survivors, which I like so much, uh, pandemic happens and like 1 in 10,000 people survive, and so it takes place in England. So there's like 10 people in the whole TV show, and part of the issue is that they have is how do they recreate society when they don't know how to do anything? And when I mean they don't know how to do anything, like to make a hammer, it's a huge process. Like, to make a modern hammer is not something that's simple. You got to get like all these different materials. It's got to, and it might have came from China, originally, and um, it might have started with the iron in England, but then went to China and then back, and like, so that's like part of the yeah, and that's part of like the show is that like they're scavenging off the leftovers, um, but a huge portion of it is that they don't know how to do anything, and that's part of this. But I wanted to also have like when this pandemic hits, things start to like wars and stuff happen. So the other thing that's pretty crazy because it's a '70s UK show or English show is that there's very little um, like not there's violence, but there's very little like gun battles. Like no one has any guns, which is kind of interesting. And then there's even a part where like these guys hold them up and go to rob them, but they get the drop on them and then get their guns back they get the guns from the robbers. And at the end of the thing, they like throw the guns back to the robbers because it's '70s England. It's actually pretty hilarious. You're like, what are you doing? um, but yes, definitely. In Jericho, I think about Jericho all the time because that show is strange, and it had Ski Ulrich in it. Uh, yeah, Lord Mac. Yeah, definitely. Like the supply chain is going to be an issue. I can't get this bug to appear regularly. Ski Ulrich in Jericho, isn't that the guy that was the main guy in Jericho? The main character? Ski. Um, so there's a survival experiment in LA. They had a percentage equal to current employees. Um, what am I doing here? There was something, and then I got sidetracked talking about survivors. And so then the most recent pandemic was just, so it's in the beginning of Survivors. Like the first episode is like the beginning of the real life pandemic, which I thought was interesting. But it gets much worse, obviously, because everyone's dying in the the TV show. Oh my God, is this back to doing? Oh no, okay. What the fuck was I working on? And I got sidetracked yammering. Oh, the research was fucked up. All right, so let's put this person, Doris Lopez, is now researching. It says researching. I bet you it's checking only the current. It shouldn't actually check the heroes at all. And I think that's the problem, is it's checking heroes and it shouldn't check the heroes at all at this point. Did that happen? Well, let's find out, I guess. Pause it. I can't pause it anymore. There we go. See, their next one should not be idle. So let's look what's going on there. Survivors was from the '70s, but they did make a new one that was bad. They made a newer one in like 2010 or something that was filled with explosions, lots of explosions. And, I like some action movies, or action TV shows too, but that The original survivors was quaint. Um, so we need to go through what this population AI is doing because there's obviously adjust population activity is wrong, I think. What the fuck is this? Heroes can't do any sort of work. I think I was setting this up for heroes to do work, but currently isn't. Actually, heroes can do work. Heroes can research right now. Heroes can research. So, if their token is null, their next activity becomes their current activity. Their current construction becomes their... I think what I did, where's my token thing? Can I get there through here? What, through here? Did I put a research thing in? I did. And we only have one. What stops them from researching? I'm going to put a note in. What stops research? Do they just do it forever? Let's put this up here. So I think I might have screwed myself here. So what this is doing is that when they're assigned a current activity, it makes their next, or sorry, current research, it makes their next activity that, but in the morning, actually maybe I didn't fuck this up that bad. In the morning, why is it setting them idle though the next time? Well, I don't think we have. Where's that county population? I don't think I have it because I remember looking at this going, huh? There's no next research. Yeah, there's just current research. I might have to have a next research, and then it would just check every time if there's a next research. I knew there needed to be a test for this. I wonder if it ever worked right. It probably did, and then something that I've done here. But this should just put their next activity over to their current activity, and then it counts the idle workers. So this is going to go through the hero list. If they're working on construction, which they actually can't do right now, so let's get rid of this. They can't construct stuff. So we'll get rid of that. And then it would have to be checking the hero list again, which I don't think it does. What does this thing do? Change to an army, generate heroes, update county population, heroes and county list, idle workers. Maybe this is not the best way to search for this. Let's search for this just in this current document. I wonder if it's the research is the problem. I'm keeping an eye on this thing down here. I wonder if it's the research is. Let's not add anything. I guess it won't help. How much time did I put into the research? Maybe the research was done. Whoops. $500. What is this person's name? Stephen Jones. Talk about some generic names. So their next activity is researching. Wait. Um, wait. Do we have some something that automatically is kicking these things over? We don't. Um, yeah, it's weird that space doesn't work the first time after you click that um, space doesn't work the first time after you close the story event panel. Before I thought it was just like kind of lagged out, but it is not. It just doesn't work the first time. Um, well, that's right. This person's unhelpful. This person's unhelpful. So what day is it? We're still on day 0. So at 5 o'clock, what happens? Oh, it's twice now every time. That's right. 5 o'clock hasn't. Okay, it's first. No, it's not always twice. That's right, too. What the fuck happened that one time? They've completed some research. Is that still working? It is. we're gonna see something here. I have a feeling it has something to do with a building. Okay, we don't have now. We can add a county improvement, and let's see if that's. Well, we should check first here. That's still right. And then at 0 o'clock, it should kick over. That's right. Still. I wonder if it had to do with that moving the null to the null. The null construction the thing I said we don't need to do because it doesn't do anything. That's right. I think maybe it did have to do this. So they scavenge like tons of stuff. Like that's basically all they do is scavenge shit. But in a you gotta remember this is like, so don't be like, you're gonna be like, holy shit, this show is slow. The show is slow. They just sit around all the time. It's 70s, so there's communes of just like hippies. They're not like they're like farmer hippies that are just hanging out having sex and stuff. it's, uh, but they scavenge most of the shit. In fact, I don't think they ever make anything in the show. It's all just scavenge stuff. They grow food. Let's wait one more day here. Yeah, I think maybe it was that construction thing was fixed. So that is now working. I don't know what I did to fix it, but it's working. We're not quite. That space doesn't work. What is stopping research? Do they do it forever? Let's put this above this space thing. Actually, we could look at this space thing. That's what we're doing today. Little. Yeah. So at the beginning they scavenge a lot of food, but then that runs out because it's not. There's other there's other people, and they become a farming community pretty quick. And I think also what happened was they like kind of shifted gears for what how they wanted the show to go. Like I think for the second season, they kind of like shifted away from uh, what they were originally thinking the show would be. Uh, it has one really annoying thing with it that I find extremely annoying. The showrunner or whatever it was called really liked the concept of like people passing and like right next to each other and not knowing that that's the person they're looking for, like ships passing in the dark, like that concept. And so that happens all the time in the show. Like it's kind of amusing the first couple times, but then after a while you're like, dude, this is fucking so annoying that they've just driven past each other and they didn't see. Um, it happens all the time. Somebody should have told him like, okay, we get it, we get it. Um, we are going to get to that, but all right. So I think the problem with this story event panel is that I never even set it up correctly. I just put it. It just existed, and I continued to the next spot. So let's look here. So when this thing turns true, pause and pause kicks in, and then does it work though? See, this is another thing that I think should probably be a whatever it's called. We wouldn't call this directly. We'll put that in. We'll unpause this. It should pop up here. Oh wait, we're already on day 3 here. I mean, there's actually a lot of annoying things in it because it's such an old TV show, but I like the concept behind it. I clicked something there. Okay, so this thing pops up. Modified time, old time speed is 1, which is did I press space? I guess I did to start the game. It's currently at 0. The old time is 1. And then I'm going to press spacebar once. So this time it worked. Maybe it is just some weird lag out thing. That's right. Let's go to like 8. Let's restart it. Maybe it's not. Maybe it is like a lag. Because you also have to be like selected if you like on this window. That's why sometimes if you see me click on this at the top, that's what I'm doing. Let's do the other choice here. I think it's lagged out a little bit, or I don't know. Whatever's going on, it seems to be fine most of the time. I'm just clicking around now to see if any of these things unpause anything. Okay, good enough. Yeah, what is stopping research? This is good enough. Let's go to research. How much do you cost? 500? It's a bummer this isn't a number. All right, we'll assign this person. We'll close it. 500's too much. I don't want to wait here all day. We're going to go back to this. We're going to stop this. We're going to go to the research thing. It is a resource. It is research items. We'll do basic storage is off at start, and we'll do like 10. And then we'll see what happens once basic research is. Maybe I never wrote anything for it, and it just doesn't do anything. It just keeps researching forever. That's not what I did. That's not what I did either. Carol Reed. I was just testing the pause thing. speed this up to 8. Okay, so it's done. But this person's still researching it. I never wrote any code for what happens when it's done. There's actually no code for when any of this shit's done. It's just all you get started. So we need to have stop researching when it is done. So that's definitely something we need pretty immediately. Well, it's going to be part of all of this stuff. Like, when do they stop working? So that is something we need. Yes, they do it forever. But let's double check. Let's run this for like a couple more days here. And we can just keep looking. Yeah, so basic storage. Okay, something was wrong there. Why is it paused? We're running there. We open up research. Maybe it was paused when I am like a pause fiend. Yeah, they're just gonna do this forever. So yes, so that's going to be part of the whole mechanic is getting more people. These areas are quite large. So this is like the Portland metro area right here. This place is huge. Like, this is Oregon, so it's only and I'm thinking about Lord Mac actually suggested making these smaller, and I may do that. My fear is that game performance when I did some like napkin math or whatever they called it, and there's going to be like 500 counties at its current size, and to double that would be like, because all of these could be split in half, so about double that is 1,000 counties, and I'm worried that because I want it to go through every single person. But one of the mechanics I want to have is like traveling groups of refugees. But the other main mechanic to get more people is you're going to explore the county that you're in and explore. So you're going to start out with like 10 or 20 people. Oh, hey, that worked too. Oh, except skill research is obviously broken. Let's fix that. Skill research. Skill name. Current project. So you'll basically, when you start out, you're only going to know a small amount of the county that you're in. But I want it, so you start with like 10 people, right? That's not enough to do anything, especially if like 5 people, it takes 5 people to work a building. So you're going to explore the county. That's going to be one of the things that your heroes can, I'm calling them heroes, but they're just like people that the player can control. They can explore the county and they'll find like resources and people. And that's going to be one of the main things. And I've been trying to think how you make that fair, though, because I want to, it's going to be 10-person multiplayer. These are all the ridiculous things that I have planned. If one person explores and they find 100 people, they're going to be able to they're going to win, basically. So there's got to be ways to balance it. And I don't want them to have like a set number, though. I want you sometimes to only get 20 people. So part of the thing is you need to go to war to get more people with the province next door. And this is actually Lord Mac's idea, too, is that there could be empty provinces. So you go to the province next door, or the county next door, and you take it over, but you have all the people come over to your county. And so you have one set county that's like the center of it. And back to the 70s TV show, Survivor's TV show, everything's empty and they're trying to find people. So they start putting up signs like, hey, it's safe, come over here and stuff. And that's also a thing I want to do too, is like if people come over. Yeah, I haven't like I want to. When I get to the exploration part, I definitely want to. Okay, so this is under add log actually. Oh, and here's the this is a problem right here. We can just go. Yeah, I want to think it more through once. So I couldn't figure out how to fix this. No, this has, no, yeah. So in public classes, I had to do this a weird way. I wonder, though, if I can do this, what will happen? Where is this? This is an event. This is going to be hard to test. Yeah, anyways, when I get to the exploration part, I definitely want to deeper think it, because one of the things that it's going to be lots of guns. Unlike the TV show, I want there to be more guns battles. uh, so that's the other thing is like like if you look at like paradox games, the asymmetrical balance sometimes works out better. So maybe we don't want it to be, or a setting, you know, that people can. I don't think this is gonna work, but I'm gonna try it anyways. So we need to have somebody research. That will get us tested. And then we just, I don't want that shit. Yeah, exactly. The number of guns in the United States is kind of a problem for the video game. Well, we're already going to restrict the playable factions to 10 different factions. We're just waiting here for the. Okay, learn 4 in skill research. So that didn't work. What I just tried to do here. So the way I figured out how to do this was dumb. I did translation server.translate. I had to type this whole thing in here. I couldn't figure out what using thing. I don't know what this shit's called. This stuff up here. Like I tried translate and I hovered over this and it just said Godot. You know, I didn't try Godot. What? Godot trans. Yeah, see, it's not here. I don't know what it was supposed to be up there. So this is the dumb way I did it, but it worked in my other game in public classes. And I wanted to also, so one of the next buildings we're going to add for research is scouting building for that exploration thing. And that will be the first time we're going to have equipment that you have. And it's going to fall apart over, I'm not going to have durability, but I'm to like where it's a number that goes down, but I'm going to have a percentage chance. And once again, like if you have a bunch of people who don't know anything, it's gonna like Jane Baker. Keeping that stuff up to date is gonna be a problem in building more things. So that's the plan, Lord Mac, is the 10 people, the 10 multiplayer things are gonna have the 10 people. Like these people, these ones are smaller by a random number. These other ones, well, at least they're supposed to be. This one's very dark green. I thought we had a problem there. Okay, so that fixed it. But then I'm worried. So if you think of dominions, the beginning dominions, you know, you expand like a madman, and that might be okay, but there does have to be some penalty for expansion. Not a penalty, but to make it more difficult, so the game isn't just you click and you paint the, you know, it isn't how it is currently where you spawn a guy and you do attacks, you know, and that's it. There's got to be, and that's all back to the diplomacy thing. All right, so we fixed that thing. We had to use that dumb translation server. Oh, but you know, here's another problem. This one is not going to work. We can just copy this whole thing into here. And we might as well put this down here so I can see it. I think it should be slow too. I think I was talking to you about this, that I like the grind of Hearts of Iron, like where you slowly move forward, and also 10 people attacking 10 other people who are all unskilled in guns may make it not, you know, it's not like a professional battle. And also those 10 people might run away and move to the next county over, and now that county has 20 people and you only have 10 people that are split between two counties. So it's, hopefully it will balance out. So yeah, we need to do this, but let's fix this, because this is also going to affect the translations. So we might as well fix this disaster here. So helpful is only for the dev. I mean, maybe it shouldn't. Maybe we'll so I was thinking about that earlier today, that because I played some Victoria 3 earlier today, where they have that I can't remember what the number is called, but the number where it just shows how like how dangerous people think you are, or whatever. And in one of those games, I think it's CK3, where they build up defensive factions against you. That's the way I want to do it, is if that's what you're talking about. No, not the radicals. That when you expand, it gives you like a number for, I don't know, which I think is poorly done in Victoria 3. But I think CK3 is where, like, if you start expanding like mad, Infamy, yeah. But they start forming defensive factions, or maybe it's EU4 that does that. So let's open up this list here, because this is a problem. So unhelpful is too wide. So the problem really is that when we add in buildings over here, it throws off the whole thing. So we should probably make unhelpful smaller. So let's do that. And then we'll have to put in these things, this area. Maybe we'll put, like, maybe we'll just get rid of the word building, and it will just say Fisher. No, we need to know it's building, and you need to know what it is, because it's too confusing. So the other, okay, so if that's the case, and we do need to know that, what we can do is we can put a minimum size on these things over here to start with. So over on, am I in the right spot? Population description panel, that would be no. The list, we want to have, so we're going to put a minimum size on this. It's currently 122, but it needs to be significantly larger. So like, well, this one says scavenging, but look at how big this one is. It's almost double that size. So if we do minimum size of 250, and then we do a minimum size of 250 on this one, and then we save this and we go back to our row here and we go down to this one and we do a minimum size on this of 250, and then we do a minimum size of this one of 250. I don't think this is enough. We might have to go 300, but let's see how it works. And then is there anything else we can make smaller? I don't know. I'm reluctant to turn those words into like abbreviations. I already have scab on there. That expansion, well, oh, huh. That's a good idea. I think so. One of the so back again to the original thought process here is I feel like a lot of Paradox games, the goal of the game is expansion regardless if you need it. CK3 definitely has this. You just expand just to for expansion's sake. And in this I want that you're forced to expand to get things, if that makes sense. So like you're not expanding just to expand, you're forced to expand because you need whatever, wood or whatever. Like if you started in this wasteland of desert over here, you would have to expand to get stuff. Um, but yes, I like the idea of that being not the main goal. So you could last a long time in this one doing remnants, as we're calling it now. So we need to set somebody to work here so we can test this. We got 2 bugs. Oh, did I have this open? I did. And I closed it. God damn it. Exactly, because so in real life, I mean, there are people who just expanded for no reason or just for the reason of expansion, but in reality, a lot of times it's for resources. And I feel like Victoria 3 does a better job than, CK3. CK3 is my favorite, but I feel like it does a better job of, um, see, that's the pause didn't work there. I think I'm not, man, that's ugly. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter at this point, but yeah, let's have some time pass here. Let's get to the next day. 120, whatever I put, um, is actually not that bad. What's the longest thing we got here? Lumberjack? Probably. Lumberjack station? Is that what we're calling that thing? Is this going to work with 2 things? What happens in the morning? I can't remember. See, that space didn't work. I clicked the time thing. Oh, we got this thing. All this crap. Um, oh, I was like, what the fuck is this? They're doing their work. Um, Motherfucker. I think I know what it is. I think I know what it is. I think it's focusing on these buttons. My hate of the focus thing is striking again. Top bar. Because then I click somewhere else and then I can do it. Where's my time and research thing? Research button. Focus. None. Speed. Focus. None. Focus. They all say one change, so I'm assuming, well, so far they all say that. None. I feel like we would have done this before. Was there some other button? One change. Nope, those are all right. Yeah, so we've mentioned This shouldn't have anything to do with focus. We mentioned weather before. I definitely want some weather. I haven't even thought about how weather would work at all. Like that's one thing I haven't even probably should. But I that would also be cool if you had like a famine. Um, people would migrate. There's this really cool series of books called Janissaries, where it's gonna sound dumb. A bunch of CIA soldiers go to another planet. That sounds like a terrible story, but it's good. Um, I don't know. I can't figure out this spacebar thing. I don't even know if it's really an issue. Uh, I guess we were done with the other one because there's people working now. There's people scavenging. Oh look, this guy. I wonder if this says what is his where. Wonder where he's working. His preferred thing is fishing, so he got his preferred thing first. Um, I mean, I guess this is fine. This fixes this. We have a problem here though. So I knew that this would be a bunch of little shit today and probably tomorrow actually. Show where they are working. Like what the fuck, man? We can add that to the translation thing. I keep looking at the clock because I gotta go to the bathroom. Um, but anyways, yeah, it would. So Janissaries, part of the plot is that these CIA soldiers are sent to this other planet, and it's like medieval times on the other planet. I'm vastly simplifying this plot. It's a really good series as well of books. You should read them. Jerry Pournelle and some other guy. Um, but every whatever 100 years, it's kind of like Game of Thrones, where the climate changes dramatically every 100 years. So um, on this planet, the climate is changing so that they can grow drugs for the CIA soldiers. That's why they're there, because they need to grow drugs. But the climate, and then so they only can grow these drugs like every 20 years or every 100 years for 20 years. And uh, it causes all these mass migrations and stuff. So that would be interesting if certain events, weather related, but also like other events, could cause mass migrations in the game where people like start moving around. Back to the population question, like it would be a way that to like expand, like an old nuclear bomb goes off, so everyone starts moving away from there. A variety of things like that. It'd be cool. So I'm gonna consider that fixed for now. Then we'll do this one. But I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick. And I will be back in less than 5 minutes here. All right, I'll be right back. All right, I guess that was a long break. Yes, definitely. I think that those events that I was talking about would not be. They would be on areas not the player controlled. So they would have to be on like neutral lands and cause the migrations or whatever. All right, so show where they're working. I'm surprised I didn't do that in the first place. I'm curious what this is, so I'm gonna get rid of it so I have no more curious thoughts about it. We're probably gonna have to do some translations here. So that is also in the populate. It's right here somewhere, and we might want to write a method for this if it's a bunch of garbage, like this other garbage. Attribute skills. Oh, that's a good idea. That's a great idea. Like, hey, you want you want to possibly have to migrate your whole population because you found an old nuclear bomb and it goes off. An old nuclear. That's a great idea. I'm gonna write that down so I don't forget it. Um, I have an ideas thing somewhere. Here we go. Um, Natural disasters. All right, let's do random events. So I want these, I call it butterfly events because I don't want them to be truly random. Uh, that are catastrophic. That's not how you spell like that at all. Like finding a nuclear bomb or climate change. Uh, it wouldn't affect the players unless they put it on higher difficulties. Let's see. Are you not going to spell check that for me? It's the joy of browsers. Yeah. Um, what am I looking for here? This should be under their activities. I need to rename. Here it is. Here's this garbage right here. Current activity text. We're going to write a new method here. Update activities. So it's easier to find this. Activities. Oh, I guess we need this stuff to go in here. And then, how's it going? I don't have any idea how to say your name. We're gonna do this here, and this is gonna go in here, and we're gonna get this. So this, I had an update on Visual Studio. I was saying this at the beginning, and I no longer can right-click these things. I know how to fix it. If you, I Googled it, and I don't have. It didn't bring up any solutions. So I got to do it this dumb way. Well, actually, this one actually could be static. Let's see what happens. I think we're gonna have other problems, but let's see what happens. So this is setting. I said hello. And then I said I don't know how to pronounce your name. Um, this is. If they're next, there's got to be a better way to do this. Maybe we put in their activity what they're actually doing. So this has their current, it says working, and if their construction is not equal to null, they do this, but then we're gonna have to have a, if their work is something, um, is there a reason? Hmm. Well, we got to add this activity to the translation thing. So while I work on this, or while I add the activities to the translation thing, we might as well I can do that and think about how I want this to work, because it's not what we, okay, activities are also currently a string, which I think we should change. So that's a whole different ball game, but I think that's on my list here. How much time do I have? Like 50 minutes? We can do it. Um, if we go back over here, yeah, well, let's make this an enum real quick. So let's go to all text. I might have it open already somewhere. It doesn't look like it. All text. It's going to be kind of a pain. So these are the current activities we have. We're going to copy this over. Actually, we'll copy this whole thing over, and then we'll adjust it to an enum. I think, I don't know. It just seems weird to have it as text. And I was thinking about this a little bit. Uh, and all text shit is going to go away because it's not going to be, um, there's no reason to do it this way. It's not going to be faster. Let's just go idle. Whoops. Enum. Idle. Building. Combat. Moving. Researching. Research. Move. Combat. Build. I think we want it to not have the ing at the end. Scavenge. Work. And then that's all of them. We can get rid of this crap. And build, combat, move, research, scavenge, work. And what's your problem? There we go. It was just took a while to fix itself. Man, I have a lot of GD prints in here. I think I'm just gonna delete them out, and we can put them back in a different way when I see them. All right, so back to this, not that. Scavenge. Oh, here's a bug. Scavenging the lumberjack station. All right, we gotta rewrite that whole thing. Show where they are working. Rewrite the whole, update activities in the population row list. It happens. I'm gonna probably have to rewrite 99% of the whole thing. So this is kind of the same thing, but fixed line. Oh, we did this. And okay, so I was looking, I was like, man, it would be nice if we could use the skill name as the activity, but it's not going to work. So back to all of our enums here. Let's put in, like here, activity, idle, activity. Whoops. I'm used to, whatchamacallit, Visual Studio. Lumbering, it's build, come on, activity, come on, typing, combat, activity, move, activity, research. You know, I could probably just turn on caps lock and that would make this slightly easier. Scavenge. It's with an E. Work. Okay. Then you're just gonna do this. You know, I started at the bottom, but I bet you it would have. There's a name. There's a name for that. I can't remember what it's called. In Excel, where it fills in all the things for you. No, I can't remember. I'm gonna translate this thing. And I'm just using Spanish because that's what I'm most familiar with. But it's not going to be a good translation because that's not how computers translate stuff. Oh, come on. Sometimes it does this where it won't let you copy it. Whoops. How did I figure out how to do this? Nope. Maybe it's because I have that selected over there. All right, I've hit Control C 45 times. Ah! I forget how I fixed this. I think I switched it. There we go. Just took 5 attempts. We just need a second language to test with, so all right, so now we have all these activities, and I think what we want to do is make a public class for the activities. Oh, you know what we can do too? Is we could put the tooltip in. This just popped in my head. Like what we're, so you know, I have these, well, I have an activities public class. What is this shit? What is this shit? Um, that actually might be fine. But what I was thinking of was more, something weird happened here, was more like, no, it was a resource. We do have a resource for the activities, like a skill. And that way we could put like a description in there. We could put a tooltip in there. We can put the name of the activity. What did I call this shit? I just put the thing in there. Uh, this thing would have to go though. It's a real bummer learning new stuff because then you look at your stuff and you go, oh, I gotta fix all this shit. So let's do this. Actually, it wouldn't have to be called something else. That public class could sit there for now. So we're going to do a new resource. We're going to do a new resource. No, we're going to do a new script. Well, let's do a new folder first. Activities. I'm getting like pretty insane with the resources. And then we would go. I think a resource is going to work. Activities. No, it's actually activity data. Then we go here, and then we go all the way down to the bottom here. And we can't move that stuff because when I did last time, the fucking world exploded. So those are just gonna be there forever. You know, we should add tooltip to like everything. I've been wanting to increase my amount of tool tipping because I have 0 right now, and I feel like that's gonna be it. So like translating and tool tipping, I think are gonna be miserable to have to go back through and add. So if you don't do it while you're doing it, this developer asked me to stream his game, and I was waiting for him to do an update. So I check his Discord all the time to see if he's done his update yet. And he was talking about he made his game in Unity, but he's going back to do his game is basically done, but it just needs an update. Whatever. Going back and doing all of the localization seemed fucking awful. We need to change this in. So that's a resource. We have the namespace in here. We need export. And I've been trying to just use name. Whoops. This is a string. I've been changing this. I was trying in my new, instead of saying like activity name, I'm just trying name. We're going to try this. Description. At some point, someone's going to want to know a description of what that shit is. And I'm going to put tooltip on here just for... I mean, it's probably going to be the same as the description. But now we've run into a new thing. And that new thing is... This should probably be like activity idle or activity name idle or no, activity idle name, activity build name, because then we're going to have another one that's description, and then we're going to have another one that's tooltip. So let's do that while we're here. There's probably some easy way to add name to the end of all these, but I don't work in accounting. Accounting is the people who know about Excel. I guess we could just copy this. Okay. It's a bummer too that I'm learning all these hotkeys for Visual Studio, and they don't work in other Microsoft products. And then we're gonna need, you know, I should have copied these over before. We have to do all this crap. See, I should have copied over them without. Work is, what kind of order is this in? This is in absolutely no order. Did we have no order in our enum? We don't have an order in our enum. Idle was at the top because idle would be the main thing, but I think we should do alphabetical. It's too hard to figure it out. Like, where's idle? You know, is idle whatever. HIJKLMNOPQRST. All right, there we go. to sing the whole alphabet every time. We can alphabetize these here in a second. But I think we are now on tooltip here. Isn't this exciting? this is a game dev. You know, what would be easier too is, whoa, if I just copy this part and just double click name and paste. Oh, you mother. Okay, there we go. And then let's sort this shit. And then probably if you know, I looked at other ones. I looked at how other people were doing it for like even how this spreadsheet was laid out. I looked at this other one. I wonder if it's still. I don't think I can find it, but I looked at. There's another spreadsheet where game developers, have filled in actual translations. Um, so let's make this thing bigger. Activity building. This is a build. This is the description for build. We're not going to write all this shit right now. This is the tool tip for build. And we definitely want a period at the end of that. And can we do this? Oh, I see a typo in here. Typos are not your friend. And any time, what's your problem? And then, oh, I missed one. And then I shouldn't have sorted this until I was done. Because now we have all this weird, yeah, I shouldn't have done it that way. It doesn't matter though. Combat, and I want these to be different so that we know for the future. What did I say earlier? I was like, oh, 50 minutes is enough time. It's gonna take me 50 minutes just to do this. Why does my double click so bad? And putting off also probably actually writing these is probably a bad thing too. You know, it's not the double click that's the problem. It's I have to select the cell first. And then I got to double click. Basically, all of Excel that I use is to look at like logs and sort them. I export a lot of things to Excel, but it's all just an export of someone else's data. I'm rarely updating the data. Sometimes I like delete a line or so too. Okay. Then probably the easiest way to do this is, since this is already all translated, or sorry, already all, I don't see any mistakes, but there's probably at least one in there. I was going to say, why are we translating this to English, from English to English? And then hopefully, like I was saying earlier, sometimes it has a problem letting you select this garbage. So like it's selected, but sometimes it doesn't want to. There's got to be an easier way to do this. Okay. We did it. Title, preferred work. Now, it should have been bugging out. I guess it didn't. It doesn't care. In my other game, it's constantly bugging out if I'm fucking around with Excel. So then we can go back to basically our all text thing and just delete that and then cure all the bugs, I suppose. See, this is trash now. And we're going to get 33 bugs. Come to me, my bugs. Man, I started early today. 31 bugs. Also, since the update, this thing has been very slow. Visual Studio has the update that I had yesterday. So, how are we going to do this? We got problems. We have other problems. We haven't done the activities yet. So, and I forgot one thing. We need to have, we're going to need, I think that's done for now. We're going to need, where is that thing? Activity data is what I'm looking for here. We need, the big problem is we have all these bugs, and so I can't build the thing. What is this? Never seen that little thing before. That must have also been from the update. I can't build this to get to create a thing because of the bugs that are bummer. So I guess, how do we fix this? This is gonna be gone. Let's see, the way we're gonna do this is we're gonna go up, and I know that this is probably like, people hate that I do it this way, but we're gonna do it this way anyways. I don't like loading it from disk anymore. Loading from disk can blow me. Activities. I mean, it doesn't really matter what order this is in, but it should probably be in alphabetical order, right? Like, research. All right, RST. There is no, I was like, wait, that isn't what I want because I don't have this yet. All activities. I almost put that somewhere crazy. Am I putting that shit here? It looks like I am. There's probably a good reason to have it read it from disk, though, and I was just thinking about a reason could be that you don't want this shit in memory forever. But we'll see here. And then we need one other thing here. This is going to be an array of, how did I do this with like attributes? It's just attribute data. This is going to be an array of, what did I do? Yeah. Activity. Oh, but oh no, it does know it's there. Activity data. Activities. Activities datas. Did I do that? I should do that all the time. All activity data. There we go. And once again, I can't build this though, so we're gonna have to wing it here. Now we need a player space, namespace, I mean. Player space. All right, so then we should be able to go back to this thing and go. Even though we don't have these created, hopefully we're gonna go. What was this? Is scavenge? Is that what we were? Yeah. So for scavenge, we're gonna go all activities dot all dot instance dot all. Did I make this? Where are you? This is another new thing I've been doing, which is strange because I was so adamant about always typing it in before I was always typing in private, and now I've been just kind of ignoring private. I don't know what's going on. All, and then we can put in here all enums dot activities dot scavenge. I think. Let's move this down. It's too whatever long. We need to pass in a string, I think. Are you missing a activity? Oh, did I put where's my activity data? Yeah, see, I've totally just abandoned that shit. I don't know what happened. It like started like last week. Or like after last whatever. Started quite recently. And then this, we have to do that thing though. I think we int it or something. Is that gonna work? We did it another time. It was something I looked at. Yep, that's how we did it. So let's go to the next bug here. I don't know where that last one was. I was gonna say like I should copy that shit, but so we're going to go all activities instance. All right, there's another thing we should. How much time do I have? Fucking 20 minutes? I don't know if I can write this whole other thing. So this is the thing that whoever in chat was, his name started with a Z. So this is, I think, part of what he was talking about, where there's like better ways to do this. So I'm using this instance thing with the drill instructor. What the fuck is it called? Dependency injection. So every one of these scripts is connecting directly to this thing. And see how it's like a long piece of shit? One of the last one so I'm gonna have to type in this long piece of shit 30 times. And I think there's a better way to do this. This is a public class. And I think I'm like halfway there. Okay, maybe like a third of the way to what they were talking about and what people have been suggesting. Um, yeah, it wasn't. So I didn't watch. I watched a different guy, but the duck guy. Yeah. Um, so we can use this right here. This is we're partially on the way. So what are these? All of these strings doing? This is if this equals this activity. Oh, this is gonna be so fucked. Uh, this isn't gonna work. Let's break it some more. We gotta break it some more real quick. I had to scoot in there because um, this needs to be all enums activity. And this needs, we're not using strings anymore. Which is another thing that everyone has been suggesting from like day one. And I was being lazy. Okay, now what do we got? Give us some real love here. It's counting up. It's getting, okay, 32 is it? All right. So we're comparing this thing. So we need a something, and we're just checking against idle. That's what we were doing, I think. What did I fuck with here? Well, I guess we can start with this one. So what are we doing with this? We're passing in basically just a string here. So I think what we should be doing is, what the fuck did I do here? Oh, okay, this is a problem too now. Update next. This is probably not going to work. I'm going to put a note in. Going to work. All right, so I think, so we need to return a string for this first one, wherever that was. I've already lost it. Where are you? That's a different one. Yes, no, this is the same one. What are we working on? Population AI. But this is wrong. It wanted us to return a string, but now we're no longer. We want this to return that. And that's a different thing. This is, this is not, this is a different issue that has just now become easier. There we go. That's a different thing. So this one though, where was I? God damn it. I swear before I could Control Z in just one script and it would remember what I was doing. So we're saying if this activity equals this other activity, this actually is no longer. And we're gonna get to somewhere. I think this is we're just checking against idle. And probably actually I think, you know what I think somebody else was saying is I don't need that there. Huh. There's so much to learn. There's no wonder there's people get degrees in this shit. Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised. It's just like every time I stream, there's some other goddamn thing I gotta learn. So the reason I'm staring at this for so long is because I'm wondering if I should turn this into a thing. So we're not checking against all enums. It would be a method. in activities, it would say like activity check next. But I'm actually I'm gonna leave that to there for now. So what is this thing doing? It's even like doing things by itself now. Oh, sometimes it does, you know, and it's kind of it would kind of be nice if I'm so there's certain stuff I'm looking forward to in AI stealing everyone's work. I am not looking forward to everyone making uh helping people work so that they can do nothing. I'm looking forward to, but that's probably not going to happen. Um, so this is actually using this activities thing. So I started doing this. It looks like. So I started to do this with this activities thing, but then I don't know, I bailed out halfway. So this is also going to be all enums. I mean, what we're passing in. What is this? This is affecting the actual county population. There's probably a better way to do this too, honestly. Um, let's do it this way. Let's embrace this. So we're going to pass in this. This is going to be like that. We don't even need to, we don't need to do whatever. We're just going to set this as idle. This will be the method. We'll pass in the thing. Now we're at 45 errors. Was this the one we were working on? Yeah. So we'll just do this. Go away, motherfucker. Oh, right. And then we'll do this one, update next to work. And then this will go away. We'll go over to these activity. And I could be doing it once again. This could be like someone could be like, no, you're not supposed to do it this way. um, if you know, tell me. And then we'll do this. And then we'll do this. And then we'll do this. And this is gonna go away. And then sometimes I get like, oh, this is how I'm so excited about this new way to do things. And then I am wrong. I'm wrong about what's going on here. So this is just some weird shit. So what we can do here is, and I was thinking maybe, what are we? This is a string. I thought I just got rid of this and changed this county population to not be a string. Oh, we're down here. We got a problem down here. Look at all these issues. We got a problem down here in the constructor. The constructor should no longer be two strings. It should be right here. Hey, I knew it was called an instructor. Constructor. Instructor, constructor. Man. All activities. Nope, all enums. And then this is too long. This is eventually just going to be a big long list down this side, I'm pretty sure. just like this thing. I mean, in fact, we could have made this just comma, comma. No, I guess maybe we couldn't. All right, who knows? I mean, obviously, many people know. Activities, idle. This should be all enums. It just starts out as idle. Is there a way I can do this a different way? Oh, this is getting added to a list. See, I could also have a method in activities that just returned idle. Because we do it all I mean, I don't know how hardcore you're supposed to go. Like, is this wrong? Is this right? Somebody tell me. YouTube comments. Nicely. Instructors repairing constructors. it's a constructor, but whatever. My brain sometimes just picks the wrong words or no word at all. So what are we doing here? We're updating the next thing to scavenge. So let's go back to this thing. And basically update next to scavenge. Okay, so there's a problem with doing it this way. I would have to have a bunch of these. I would have to have one for every activity. And is that wrong? Because I could go back to the thing with the comma and just put in the next activity would just go in here. It's not the end of the world. It's not that difficult. But then what's the point of this? So that's the thing, is like all we're saving is one line here. But I guess if you wanted to put a bug thing in here, if you wanted to see when this was breaking, you would use this method. See, that's part of the problem. Is I can't quite wrap my head around when you would do this. Like, what's the fucking benefit? But I think so. Okay, let's say we put this back to, because I don't want to because we could have like 50 activities. We're gonna just do this update next, and we're gonna put in the enum. And so why have this here when it could just as easily, just the next activity could just equal what it's going to be. So I think the reason you're supposed to do this is so that this is broken apart. So you can do activity. So you can do add things to this and it will affect all of them at once. Instead of having to go through each thing. So every time that I have an activity that equals the next activity, I think that's why. I don't know. I feel like half the time I'm going down the wrong path here. But now we're going to go back and have to fix this other thing. So this is going to be next. I mean, we're putting it back. I think that's why you do it this way. I don't know. I think that one was work. If current work is null, yes. So we're not going to have time to do the one thing I wanted, but this we can do. Yeah. It's going to be inside of us. Well, I hope so. I mean, so there's been multiple things in the past where I'm like, why would you do it this way? And then eventually I'm like, oh fuck, of course this is why you do it this way. So I'm waiting for this to happen. I'm waiting for this to happen on this. But now I'm looking at like this thing. This is the same as this. And why? Current work. Why are there two of these? And why are they the same? All right, we have next work and current work. This updates the next work, and this also updates the next work. I'm just making sure. Yeah, that's really what it was. I wonder why that's like that. Well, I guess we'll just fix these errors and then be prepared for tomorrow to have 1,000 errors. And what the fuck is this? um, so this is construction. Was that idle? Yes. This is construction. And this is building. I hope it's sooner than later. And then here's another one that are identical. I wonder why I put these in both. Well, I'll never check until it dawned on me that I don't, if I put a note in like, check this thing, I never check it unless it's, I'm rewriting that code. And at some point we probably will. But it is weird to me that we're updating the next. So like we update the current, this is the current construction, we're updating the next construction. Okay, and why this is like this is so that it's updating the next one. But why are we updating? So then we update the next construction. Then we're also updating the next activity when we're updating the next construction. Strange, but there's probably some reason. I don't like whatever reason it is. Oh, and here we got the old school way to do it. Oh, but there's no where are we at? County population. So I think for here, oh, this is there might be a reason why I can't do it this way. Let's find out. Like I said, we're gonna stop typing this activities. I'm curious why it offered the one there. What's your problem? Make this read only? Sure, that's fine. Oh. Okay. Then down here. I feel like in a public class this is not gonna work, but it looks like, oh wait, I have like a half-assed one there. Oh, I have another one here. And I have another one here. And I have another one here. Why wouldn't I just put it at the top? I'm waiting for these errors to increase just to. It said, okay, here it is. Update next activity idle. Get this out of here. Those are still blue though. Where are they getting this blue shit from? Next activity. I don't know if this is, you know what? Copy this. This needs to be research. And then, I don't know what's going on here. Oh yeah, I'm deleting any GD print things that I see for now. Update. This is in select token. Oh, look at this. I have an activities thing in here. If I use this more in this same, doesn't look like I am. I'm just going to do it in here. So this should be, what activity are we putting in here? Oh, we don't know. Okay, so this will actually work okay, except it's passing in a string. Damn it, I copied it. I accidentally hit copy. Activities dot update next. Oh, this is update current activity. So let's go back to this activities thing. Update current, and it's basically the same thing. Here, let's just get rid of this. Copy, paste, update current. We're passing in this stuff. This is going to be current. And then I probably should name this to like next activity, current activity, just for less confusion, but I'm going to just wing it for now and see what happens. This was update current. What is this? What the fuck is this? This is update current activity. Update current. We got something weird in here. We're passing in a string, though. We need a county population, and we need an all. No, you were right. You were right, computer. Activity. No, I have definitely not worked as a programmer. Probably the closest I've gotten to that is like PowerScript stuff. You know, you need some PowerShell stuff, but I rarely, mostly with that, I've just copied and pasted. No, definitely not worked as, okay, so the problem is we need this to go like this, but then this needs to be up here. No, I would get fired. Imagine, imagine how bad my higher ups would have to be to keep me employed. They're like, this guy's good. I think I'm a pretty good IT manager, but all right, I don't think that I'm a good programmer at all. So these all have to be, these are like some cases. I'm pretty good at job interviews, actually. I feel like I am. Maybe not. This is research now. But I haven't had a job interview in a long time. I've been at the same place for like 10 years, like I was saying earlier. And I don't want to, I was unemployed for, well, I was a dishwasher too. This is such a strange little thing, and I remember writing this, and this strange little thing was, it worked like pretty well, but it's still very strange. But I think I mentioned this dude the other day, last weekend. I don't know if you were around, but I was friends with a guy who is like had pretty basic programming skill. It wasn't C#, it was something else. Yeah, I actually really liked washing dishes. It was like backbreaking, but the fact that you just had like a stack of dishes that Well, at the beginning, the stack grew, but eventually it stopped growing, and then you had that stack just to finish. Like, and I was alone. You could listen to music really loud and just like fucking just do dishes. It was actually pretty. It was a pretty good job. I was paid like $17 an hour or something too, so it wasn't even that crazy. And you got a free meal every time, and um, it was actually I. What is it going to change this to? Oh yeah, research. That's what we want. We want this to be moved. It wasn't bad at all, but it was. I needed a real job because the hours were very irregular. It was mostly just like Fridays and Saturdays, like sometimes once a month, sometimes 4 times a month. But and I also worked like occasionally they'd be like, do you want to just do some other work? And like one New Year's Eve, they just had me go walking around for like 6 hours picking up like plastic cups. It was amazingly easy. Um, it was actually that was a pretty awesome time too. Update current activity to idle. It's nice that this thing wants to suggest something, but it could be better if it was smarter. Um, it was the plan for that night was to work like till like 2 in the morning, but the person the party was hosted for was sneaking in underage people, which I guess had happened the year before. And they warned him, like, if we find one underage person in here, we're shutting the thing down. And he was like, no, 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 you won't. And they did. And man, this current activity thing is so weird. Oh, you're going to do it for me now. Was that really? So this is I'm going to put a note in here. I think this needs a rewrite or to be added to activities. But that was also, there was like a bonus and a major, like you get a major tip for working that night. That was a pretty, obviously I rather be an IT guy, but it wasn't that bad at all. But yeah, so one of my friends said he's got a job as a basic programmer, and his skills are pretty basic. And this is the guy where when they tandem programming or whatever they call it, another person stood over you, and he was dreading it. But he actually said that because he learned so much by having this person stand over him, that it was totally worth it. We only got a few more things here. And so I would once again, it's back to like, do I want to get a job? Like, I could probably get paid more as a programmer, but but I don't want to go through the interview process, then possibly try a new job and then get fired because I suck, etc., etc. Yeah, and so that was the problem. That was the problem with back to the serving underage people, is that the year before they kind of like let him slide, but then this time they were like, no, dude. All right, so all of those changes I thought would affect like a massive amount of shit, but it didn't. It was like, I know we just changed a bunch of stuff, a massive amount of like labels and stuff, but this is the only thing that is actually affected by that so far. And in the description panel should too. I bet you rerun it again, it won't. But I'm going to fix this, and then I'm going to call it a day. So this should actually be person. I'm going to rename this to county population. I've gotten away from that weird shit. Oh, this is going to break too, because this is going to put in like the enum in there. The guy was actually pissed. They told me to go pick up like a box of alcohol because we were shutting it down, and I picked up this box of alcohol from like there was like different bars. So it was like a nightclub where the person rented out, and there was different like little bars around the place, and they're like, go over to that bar, and the bartender worked for us too, and like grab the alcohol so that people aren't grabbing the alcohol because we're shutting shit down. Because the guy who threw the party actually owns the alcohol, so we have to give the alcohol to the guy, but we can't sell it anymore or serve it anymore. And so I went and got the alcohol, and this dude was like, "What are you doing, you thief?" I'm like in uniform and stuff, and like all up in my shit. And I was just like ignored him and walked back, and then it turned out that's the guy who threw the party, and he thought I was stealing the alcohol, but the alcohol was actually being taken to a safe storage for him. And if he obviously was shit faced. Um, so this isn't gonna work. None of these things are right. I gotta call it a day. See you soon, very soon. So these are all broken. Update activities. These are all broken because this isn't even, this must be because it's in this little thing that it's doing this. So what we need, this is all going to be the same. This is where we would do that thing. This is where we would use a method to return the name. I think this is a perfect spot. Do you work at a restaurant now, or are you a programmer? Or something else? I think this is where we would do this. Public string get activity name, and then we would put in, yes, this is what we do. All activities activity and then we're going to return a string, and then no, it's not that. Return name, and then we're going to go name equal, fuck you, string name equals oh, I guess we got to put in a person. Do we need to put in a? No. Wait. We know what they are. We would go all activities instance. What did I call them? All activity data. Activity, but we got to int this thing. And then we would say name. What's your problem? Consulting and game rendering, that must be nice, right? Okay, this is not. Oh, this is the wrong thing. That's why. All enums dot activities. Okay, so this is like a thing. I don't know. They call it a helper script. I don't know. I think this is like 100% should have been used before. I could be wrong. Tell me if I'm wrong. um, so what we would do, what did I just see that? Activities. The tedious stuff. Man, the character sheets and stuff, that stuff is killing me. We want to, this is activities. What did I just call that thing? Get activity name. Get activity name. something's wrong here. I don't think I did the thing. No, I know it's exactly what's wrong. You can't do it this way. This should be a lowercase a, and then we're gonna go. I thought I used this once. The Master Lich, how's it going? I do like Godot. I came over from Unity. And there was definitely a learning curve, but most of it is so I'm using C sharp. I use C sharp in Unity too, but most of it is just. I think if I was a better programmer to start with, it would have been less of a challenge. Long story short. um, because like the Cave of Cud people, like the developer for that, he did like a live stream of him converting from Caves of Cud from Unity to Godot, and he didn't really have any of the issues I had. There are some really weird little things that. So basically, Unity and Godot have their own craziness with annoying shit, and so it's like the you just gotta like I'll complain about Godot, but I also complain about other similar stuff in Unity. So it's yes, and I definitely like the ethical reasons too. And Bumblebite, back to you said nothing bores you in game dev. Man, I wish that was true. Like I said, the tedious stuff like character sheets and things. I feel like it doesn't. I'm not getting anywhere, even though I can make a character sheet and it looks okay. It doesn't look nice, but it looks okay. All right, so let's see. Did I do this right now? Get activity name. And then this thing. Let's go through this whole thing because this is all trash. Current activity, construction. So actually, we could put this. I don't think this is going to work with our translations. Oh God, what did I just do? Oh, actually, it is exactly this. This would go in here. We're going to save that, and it just dawned on me. Where's my activities? We need to put the translation thing in here, which is not going to work because what does this suggest now? Yeah, it doesn't know. We're going to have to do, what was it called? Translation server dot. It's not, oh, I don't have Godot at the top. I do really need to call it a day here. Translate. Yeah, that way if we translate it here, when it returns this, it can be another crap. Where was that bug? Oh, I just want to finish this one. Okay, so I think this is a better way to do it. It might not be. It might be a worse way to do it, but so we get the activity of that thing. Except, no, that's right. We get the activity of this thing. It doesn't matter. It doesn't care what the activity is. And I'm doing something wrong here. I don't need this, and I don't need this. Yes, I do need that. And then I'm going to put this down here so I can see it, and I'm going to put this down here so I can see it. Master Lich, have you used Godot, and what is I'm curious what your favorite programming language is. There's a lot of people who are very aggressive about the GD script. I kind of understand it. And then this one needs to be this is the same thing. Next activity. We can just do this. Wait, did that have? Yes, it did. So there's another problem. Man, I really set myself up. I said, oh, I think I can do this in 50 minutes. I sure was wrong about that, like normal. A C programmer, um, you should, especially if you're a C programmer. That's the beginning one, right? You know, that's the not as a beginner, but I looked it up. I kept saying for years now that I either took a C class or a C++ class, uh, 30 years ago, and it was a C class that I took. I don't really remember any of it. Um, Man, this is gonna be so. When we run this, it's gonna be. Well, let's just see what happens. I'm gonna push this code um, to GitHub, even though it's busted. It's one of my most. Yeah, that's one of my most despised thing to do is leave myself a bunch of bugs for the next day. Like it's because I can't quite remember where I was, and it takes me like a while to be like, oh yeah, I was doing this, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna fuck. I was looking at my translation sheet. We're also gonna need to like add some other stuff. So let's see here. A bunch of bugs for the new activities. I don't even know what that thing is called. Public class. All right. And I'm going to commit this. We are on a different branch, and I guess localization start works. Well, I guess I know what we're working on tomorrow. I'm going to have to be cleaning up all sorts of stuff. It's maybe even next weekend too, because there was so many little things that I added to this list as we worked on the population AI that it's becoming like a backlog of garbage, and there's also like little things that are actually big issues that need to be kind of addressed going forward, so that the pain. Where's my localization thing? Look at it? No, we're gonna do it. Localization is one of them, but I am calling it a day here because I have to go to the bathroom. And let's put this back up the top, just so I remember that we have now started doing that. Um, all right, I am calling it a day. Thank you guys for joining me, and I will talk to you probably tomorrow. I usually both Friday or Saturday, Sundays I stream. Anyways, talk to you later. Bye.